Cameron was in Egypt's land. Let my Cameron go.
Morning, folks. It's Nathan here. Doing a little change of scenery on the front porch. Smoking my homemade morta. With some cowboy coffee. And some coffee. I was hoping to make it out a little bit earlier. Get a little bit more of the quiet, but kids are up and playing around the neighborhood, and that's all right. But came out here, wanted to do a little bit of my reading out front this morning. I figured now is as good a time as any. I've been intending to tell this story for quite some time. But now's the time. This Bible I keep in my car, and because you just never know. It's quite honestly more important than a first aid kit, more important than jumper cables. Spare tire, which those I seem to use frequently for some stupid reason. Maybe I gotta stop running over people. But this Bible has a story that is quite life-changing in so many different ways for our family. My wife was blessed with a gift to endure medical procedures. Quite frequently would need to go in, get some stuff done. You know, we joke with her doctors, like, so this is our 9th one, we get the next one free, right? You know. So, what we began to do is we were going through each of these procedures every 12, 18 months. We would go, she'd get in the gown and everything, you know, the whole prep procedure. Well, my prep procedure throughout the whole thing was propping my feet up on the bed and receiving comfort from my Lord. So I was always there, just reading whatever passage. And just fellowshipping, receiving my teaching. And this was pretty regular, so it was just nice. Yeah, and then before my wife would go back, we'd have a prayer, and then off she'd be whisked to La La Land, and then wake up and make me laugh because she was so groggy. Well, in a previous video, just recently, I revealed that my youngest daughter was born on my birthday back in 2006. And my wife and I, we were set on 2 kids. And you know, after she recovered from my oldest's birth, you know, we thought, okay, well, let's go ahead and go for number 2. And so we kept trying and never came to be. The whole time, those things that required surgery, which for her was endometriosis, would build up, and she'd need to have surgery to get it cleared out. And it got to be to the point where it's like, okay, well, I don't think that the Lord's going to have this, and so He's blessed us with the one, and so we can rejoice in that knowledge and really rejoice. So, so she goes and talks to her doctor, and they said, okay, well, you know, it's time to do a hysterectomy. And so we're like, okay, let's get done, because the idea is that once that happens, there's nothing for the endometrius to build on, and so we wanted some comfort for her. So we sign up, and day comes around. I think it was either a late August or early September. Surgery date. So we go in. Wife gets in her gown. I packed this too tightly. You start doing all the preparatory surgery questions, allergies, yada, yada, yada. And I go and I assume my position at the foot of the bed. Prop my feet up and start reading. So then we're waiting for the anesthesiologist to come back. He talked about some things earlier. Went to go get the stuff for that initial knockout dose. Nurse comes in, runs some final checks, looks down at the urine sample, dips the stick, turns around, bolt upright, wide eyes. And Summer and I look at her like, so what's up? She's like, you're not having surgery today. My wife's not paying a bit of attention before this, and I'm buried. My boy look over like, what? She says, you're not having surgery today. Like, what are you talking about? And she looks at us. She says, you're pregnant. Now, this is my wife's favorite part of the story. I'm sitting there, propped up reading, looking, take my feet off the bed, lean forward, and I'm like, come again? So she takes another stick, dips it to confirm. Positive for pregnancy. So we're just kind of like that person who's just standing in conversation with somebody and then just gets punched in the face. We're like kind of soaking that in. My wife, who had begun the mental process of reconciling herself to removing this thing out of her body that enables her to do what she was born to do and make children and nurture. And now she's got to reverse the mental process to now, okay, I got to go back to that. And so that was a challenge. Meanwhile, I'm sitting there thinking about it and going, all right, I got to clean the house. Get a room all cleaned out, moved into the garage, some of the furniture taken to my parents, the whole rigmarole. I'm all about getting things ready, organized and stuff. Our house has never recovered from this. And any of you have seen, well, you've seen my garage. It's not all of it. You've seen the cleaned up portion of it, which is not that clean. So the following April, my little Rachel was born. The second child that we wanted, that we thought that the Lord would not allow us to have, to where he proves to us, just like he proved to Sarah and Rebecca, and to Rachel herself in Genesis, that it's about his timing and not ours. And if you get the blessing, wonderful. And we praise the Lord for both of our children, and that each one of them has a special story in their birth, one being born on my birthday, one being born out of what seems to be dramatic circumstances. Oddly enough, to the not Lifetime, A&E, some channel, I can't remember. They were doing a reality show called, I think, One Born Every Minute. And no, it's not about idiots like me. They were selecting people at our particular hospital here in Columbus to follow their hospital stay up through birth and just kind of document that. And the staff at the hospital was on a full court press to get us to participate in that show. My wife was interested. I was not. I said, no, hun. Last thing they need to do is see me on camera cursing people up one way and down the other for not doing their job right or not being there for you when they need to be. Or really, they just don't need to be in a moment that's for you and I. Because that's what it was. You know, it's a moment for my wife and for myself. And we didn't need to have to make accommodations for a video camera and some sort of crew to be in the delivery room, influencing any moment that I would rather naturally have. So I passed on fame. But yeah, that's the story behind this Bible. Does stay in my car. I pull it out again every now and again to peruse. It always reminds me of my little girl. Always reminds me of the wonderful blessing my Lord decided to bless me and my wife with. So richly. And all the challenges that brought about. All that said, I wanted to share that with you. Time is a commodity solely disposed of by the Lord. What a wonderful thing, because this is not the way that I would have planned it. And because of that, my wife and I would have missed out on an intense blessing because of the way it happened and the wonderful lessons that it gave us. So, thanks for stopping by. It's a real special thing that my wife and I like to recollect quite often. So, count your blessings. Be thankful for them. And when all that is said and done, grace and peace to you. See ya.